Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young and Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
And off we go. March Madness has been, they talk about it starting yesterday or the day before. It has officially started, March Madness. We are in a 3-week pattern to throne a college basketball champion. Hi, everybody. Terry Norvelle right here on the patio at Sliders Oyster Bar. I hope you're wherever you're at. Maybe you've cut out of work a little bit. Maybe you're coming down. You live at the beach. Maybe you're at the beach heading out. Come by. Say hi. We've got TVs galore. I'm on the patio. College basketball is the number one in sport right now. It will take over our country in a good way for 3 solid weeks. I think it's the best sporting event in our country, bar none. I don't even think anything is close to March Madness. I hope you're enjoying it, and we will track it as we go. So far, so good as we welcome you to a Thursday edition on the patio at Sliders Oyster Bar. Nothing crazy has happened. We had a really nice 8-9 matchup, 8-seed, 9-seed matchup. Creighton got by Louisville, and not a big deal if 8 beats 9, if 9 beats 8. Okay, I get that, but I think that game was in Louisville, Kentucky, so a little bit of a tough loss for Louisville, but Creighton moves on. Creighton gets a win, and now that sets up and I don't want to totally project ahead, but Auburn is currently playing right now. Auburn has the game against, let me turn this around. Auburn is currently playing Alabama State, who beat St. Francis to get to this game. Excuse me. So Auburn, we would assume the number 1 seed in the South, Auburn will win their game with Alabama State. Auburn will then move to face 9th-seeded Creighton. That could be a pretty good game. And I'm not so sure, and I get how these tournaments work, and 64 tournament teams, you have to put them in bracket. I get all that, and then they work their way down. But, man, I'll tell you one thing. Getting the 1 seed, Auburn, Duke, Houston, and Florida. The 1 seeds in this tournament, the way it's structured, the 1 seed, game 1, well, they're going to win game 1. They're going to beat the 16 seed. Game 2, they play the winner of 8-9, an 8-9. Auburn gets Creighton. Creighton's a pretty damn good basketball team. Florida, if the Gators win tomorrow night, and they should, the Gators will get the winner of UConn, Oklahoma. That's an 8-9. Probably UConn. Duke will get the Mount St. American Mount St. Mary's. They get that game. Their second game, and they're going to win that game, will be the Mississippi State Baylor winner. 8-9's tough, man. 1 versus 8-9, that's tough. And then the bottom of the right side of the bracket, Houston. If Houston can get by either Georgia or Gonzaga, Houston will move on. It's tough. That 8-9 is tough. Right out of the gate, if you're a number 1 seed, right out of the gate, you're facing 8-9. And there's a chance that 8-9, that opponent could be really good. So off and running we are with March Madness. What a fun tournament. I think the best sporting event in our country by far. It's 3 weeks of just riveting drama. And it's so easy. It's so easy when you come to brackets ESPN, national, international brackets, or just around your corporation, your business. The brackets are so easy. Everybody fills something out. It's so easy. March Madness is upon us, and we are off and running. A lot of stuff to talk about today on the program. The SEC, 6 games today. Texas did lose last night. So, and, I know a lot of the national guys wanted to bash on the SEC because, well, right out of the gate, Texas has lost. The SEC is 0-1. Okay, well, Texas probably should not have been in the tournament. They were a low entry into the tournament. I don't think that's a big deal. Today, the SEC, tonight, Auburn playing right now. Georgia plays later. Tennessee, Arkansas, Texas A&M, and Missouri. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 teams today play that will represent the SEC. Okay, so 6 teams today from the SEC. Texas last night, but Texas was in kind of a play-in game. I'm not even sure I include that. Now, if Texas had won, of course, I would say Texas, SEC. But so Texas gets knocked out. You could quasi say the SEC, the big bad SEC in basketball, is this the greatest conference in basketball in the history of college basketball? Okay, I get it. Everybody's going to jump on. Texas is 0-1. I think the next 6 games, tonight's six games, today's 6 games, Auburn, Georgia, Tennessee, Arkansas, A&M, and Missouri. They all play today. Now, I will say this, and to be fair, easily 4 of the 6 SEC teams that play tonight, as I say it, they're favored. But I think the SEC, if the SEC can come out at the end of the night tonight, midnight, 1 a.m., if the SEC can come out from today's games, those 6, 4-2, take on the Texas Longhorns, 4-3, I think the SEC is fine. The SEC is fine. We'll track that. We'll track March Madness as we go here, as it has started. It has started, and we'll go as the games go. I'll try and keep you updated. Auburn, by the way, and their first round game, Auburn is at the half up by 10. That game was close the entire first half, Alabama State. So we'll track that game. We'll track all the games as we go into the second session, which is the night session here. Florida plays tomorrow night. Remember, if you're not positive on what's going on, Florida plays tomorrow night about 6:50. That game should be on time because it is the opening game of the night session. So Florida should tip off right at 6:50 tomorrow on a Friday, Sunday setup for the Gators. So we'll track March Madness all afternoon and into the evening, and we'll look ahead. Georgia, by the way, don't look now at the Georgia Bulldogs. Mike White, it's a pretty big game. They play a little bit later today. Georgia, man, if Mike White could get a win for Georgia in March Madness, could he not name his contract? I think Mike White could name his contract as Georgia will track the Bulldogs. They have slid into March Madness via the SEC and the strength of the SEC. Georgia, speaking of Georgia, I want to throw this out. And speaking of the Gator basketball program, I think I've got this right. I haven't looked it up. Ohio State won the football national championship this past season. They're the defending national champions. Ohio State, once postseason started, it was pretty apparent, I thought. The Buckeyes did not play the Big Ten championship game, but man, once the playoffs started, They won the national title. It was pretty apparent that Ohio State was the best football team in the country. And I'm going to throw this out to you. Do you agree? And I think you would agree. Once the college football playoff field was announced, and once they started playing games, the byes got byes, the teams got first round games. I thought it was pretty easy to say Ohio State was the best football team. It was very apparent that Ohio State was the best football team. Now, you got to go win. I get that. It's hard to win championships. I say it all the time. But Ohio State, they didn't go to the conference championship game. But I thought once playoff football started, most people said, damn, Ohio State's going to be hard to beat. And they were, and they won the national title. Are we seeing a little bit of that in Florida, the Gator basketball team? If you track it back, and I don't have it in front of me, but I can pull it up. If you track it back, I think Florida, the Gator basketball team, I think their most recent and last basketball loss was in Athens at Georgia. Almost like Ohio State's last football loss was against Michigan. And it was almost like the Ohio State-Michigan game where Michigan beat Ohio State. It was almost like that took the Ohio State football program and said, whoa, we're too good for this. And Ohio State regrouped, and they ran through the football playoff. Do you see a little similarity with Florida and Georgia? Georgia, and I think I'm right, Georgia is the last team to beat Florida in Athens, that midweek game. And that game meant a ton. This doesn't matter, but that game meant a ton to Georgia. Georgia really needed that game. I think Athens and the state of Georgia, they were pointing to that game, and Georgia won the game. But post Florida losing to Georgia, it looks like post Ohio State losing to Michigan in football, man, is Florida dialed in. Now, I will say this, and we'll go to break in a little bit, and I'll continue to say this. It's hard to win championships. It is really, really, really hard to win championships, particularly in the college basketball world. I know my buddy Zach Rothrock. Zach, you there, buddy? Zach, you still producing?
I am. Somewhat. I don't know about that. I'm here, though.
Are you just hitting buttons, or are you producing? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just randomly seeing what happens.
We had a discussion yesterday with just how hard it is to win March Madness. You have to win 6 games. There's no way that you have to win 6. The national champion will win 6 games in a row starting from this weekend, right? No, there's no way to cut it. There's no way to slice it. With that said, Zach, if you take the best teams this year, Duke, I think, is a 3-loss team. Florida has only lost. Florida's like 30-4.
Right.
Auburn is like 30-4. Alabama has lost like 7. If you take all the best teams, and I'm not going to do it because I'm too lazy, but Zach, if you take the best record of the number 1 and number 2 seeds, okay, if you laid out their schedule this year that they played, their wins and losses, there aren't a lot of situations, even though they're playing weaker teams, there's not a lot of situations where any team in America wins 6 in a row. It's hard to win 6 in a row, Zach. I mean,
yeah. I think the Gators are the only team that never lost back-to-back games, I do believe.
Might be.
But yeah, and I don't think they ever won 6 in a row at any point this year, so I'm not sure that anyone did. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough thing.
And we walked it through yesterday. If you think of winning March Madness, you cannot win the national title. One team will win 6 games in a row.
They got to.
The opponent will go 5-1. The two other Final Four teams will go 4-1. Right? There's no way to fake it. You have to win 6 in a row. We took those teams: Florida 30-4, Auburn 30-4, I think, Duke 30-3. We took all those teams yesterday, and we looked at the regular season. And let me back up. Even with regular season, there are some kind of dog games in there. There's some kind of Florida versus JU in December, Auburn versus South Alabama. There's some kind of easy wins in there. If you take the top, I'll just say 6 or 7 teams this year, and you lay their schedule out and you start counting, Zach, there are not a lot of teams that had 6 in a row wins at all in the regular season, Zach, not the playoff, in the regular season. That tells you how hard it is to win this damn tournament.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, like you say, someone's got to do it. I mean, the odds of winning 6 coin flips in a row is 1 in 64, which is the same amount of teams that are in the tournament. So 1 out of these 64 teams is going to do it. And 63 teams
Zach, we took it a step further. I said, okay, forget the November, December where a team like Florida plays Stetson and JU and FIU. Okay, you're going to win those games. Okay.
Yeah.
We took it a step further yesterday, Zach, and we said, okay, well, let's take the big boy teams that have gaudy records, Florida, Auburn, Duke, those guys. And we said, okay, let's lay out their regular season schedule, who they played and who they lost to and who they beat, starting with conference play. Conference play starts the first week of January. We laid that out. Zach, you would be amazed how few teams had 6-game winning streaks in the regular season. And the theory is, Zach, that March Madness, the theory is every game you win should be tougher. The next game should be tougher, right? It's amazing.
Yeah, because
it's hard to win. It's hard to win 6 games in a row in the regular season, much less March Madness. Would you agree with that? It's hard.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you don't get a home game, so there's usually when you play one of these lower level schools, it's a home game.
No.
And yeah, I mean, you're probably playing against a team that's red hot if they've won enough games to be able to continue playing. But you as your team should also be though. So there's also, I mean, there's always sure. Look at them.
I'm not so sure every fan is dialed in to realize how hard it is. And I'm going to use the word ascending. Theoretically, every team you play in March Madness, even if you're a 1 playing a 16, theoretically, the opponent ascends, right? You ascend.
Yeah.
You go from a 16 and you may play a 11, you may play a 6, you may play a 3, and then it's game on, Final Four. The theory is your 6 games are ascending. They're supposed to be – it's hard to win 6 games just in your conference, even if your conference game includes – I don't mean to pick on South Carolina. Even if you play South Carolina, who's won 2 conference games on February 3rd, that's still a game where you don't have to – March Madness is hard to win, man. It is hard to win.
Oh, yeah. All it takes is for just one random dude no one's ever heard of to hit 8 3-pointers and your team's gone. That's all it takes in a given moment.
Your opponent can hit 8 3-pointers.
Yeah.
Your opponent could hit 8 to 12 3-pointers. Okay. You could have one of those nights where you couldn't drop it in the ocean from a boat, right? You could be 5 for 25 3-pointers. You also may have one of those nights that coincides where, Zach, you make 13 of 28 free throws. So you leave a ton of points on the free throw line, right? I mean, you just
you could be like Clemson right now and be 1 for 15 from 3-point and a half to McNeese State.
Oh, and as a South Carolina fan, you loved reporting that, didn't you?
I may have potentially picked McNeese over Clemson as a 12-5 upset.
Yeah, I know a lot of people did. We'll track that game. McNeese all over Clemson, as you said, a halftime, 31-30. Clemson only scored 13 points in the first half.
Yeah,
Is that right,
5
Zach?
for 24 just from the field. 1 for 15
Oh,
from 3.
my God. So, Auburn is trying to pull away from Alabama State. Auburn leads 50-36 early second half. Clemson, a 5 seed. They're in the locker room at halftime. McNeese State, Will Wade, former LSU guy that was run out of Baton Rouge. McNeese State, 31-13 over Clemson. A really good game, I think, is going to play out. You've got a 6 seed BYU taking on an 11 seed VCU. That is basically a tied game. You've got the big game of the day, Zach, and it wasn't an upset. I really don't call a 9 beating an 8 upset, but boy, did you see Creighton? They walked the dog on Louisville. That was an 8-9, so not a huge seed upset, but Louisville was never in that game. Creighton really wore out Louisville.
Yeah, I did take Creighton in that game. It was pretty arbitrary, though. I just thought they were one of those March Madness. Yeah, just one of those March Madness teams. But I wouldn't think it would be a 14-point, just walk away victory.
No.
I didn't expect that.
And you know, I watched almost all that game, particularly after like the 5-minute mark of the start of the game. Creighton really was never. Creighton dominated that game. They really did. Now, with that said, Creighton's a pretty good basketball team. They've been to March Madness.
Oh, yeah.
They've played a lot of tournament games. They play big-time basketball at Creighton. Do you know who Creighton plays next?
Oh, man, I couldn't tell you.
How about the Auburn Tigers? How about Auburn, number 1 seed? If they get by Alabama State, which they should, Auburn will take on number 9 Creighton. That you better watch that game. I mean, Creighton. I will say this: Creighton will not fear Auburn. I'll promise you that. They've been around, man.
Yeah,
they've been around.
Oh yeah, they're one of those teams. I mean, I just feel like they're one of the ones that you see around this time of year all the time, like a brand that you don't normally see in sports. But I mean, every tournament time they seem to pull off a game or two.
They play. Now, I don't want to say, Creighton pulled a miracle. That was an 8-9 win over Louisville. What made it even more impressive was that game, I think, was in Lexington. Now, that's not Louisville's hometown, but damn, Creighton went into Kentucky and knocked out Louisville in Lexington. That's impressive.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it might as well be.
Yeah.
Once again, in Louisville, they shot 8 for 29 from threes, only 27%. I mean, that's how you lose. Creighton shot 45%, 11 for 24.
And then if you miss a bunch of free throws, one of those nights where you can't make a free throw, and Zach, and I call it the anatomy of an upset, and all those negative stats generally coincide with the opponent shoots lights out. Your opponent may hit 11 3-pointers that night, right? And they make 21 of 23 free throws, and then just do the math. You end up losing the game.
Oh yeah, all of a sudden, that's it. It can get out of hand.
This tournament is really tough. Let's take our first break here. It is a Thursday. March Madness really has started. We've got games completed. We've got games ongoing. We'll track you as we go during the show until 6 o'clock. Georgia, we want to tip our hat to Georgia, the Bulldogs, Mike White. They are in, and I think they're about to tip off here before we go off the air. A lot of basketball to talk. Stay with us. We'll do it live until 6 o'clock right here on the patio of Sliders Oyster Bar. Tomorrow, let me throw this out as we get a break. A brand new location. We hope if you're in the area, you can come by and watch the show, say hi, and then stick around and watch Gator basketball. We will be at Brew and Barrel. Brew and Barrel. That is at the intersection of Beach and San Pablo right there. 14333 Beach Boulevard is the actual address. But Beach and San Pablo, Brew and Barrel tomorrow. The Young and Norvelle Show broadcasting live for 2 solid hours. We go off at 6. The Gators tip off at 6:50. Come by, say hi, watch the game with us. We would be happy to accommodate you at Brew and Barrel tomorrow, 4 to 6. Hope to see you there. Let's take a break. Come back. We're talking a lot of basketball and some other topics, I promise, on the Young and Norvelle Show right here on a Thursday.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
All right, officially March Madness is off and running. I don't buy that whole play-in Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't buy all that, but I do buy it's Thursday. It's March Madness. Terry Norvelle on the patio at Sliders Oyster Bar. I want to thank our great friends at Sliders Oyster Bar. They feature the Safe Harbor Seafood. We've got Patrick Young, and Patrick has played in 1 million of these games. Patrick, welcome to the show. Pat, March Madness officially, I think, is off and running, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Did you see the score to this Clemson McNeese game?
Yeah, we were going to get to that. Man, at the half, McNeese is giving Clemson all they want, right? They're about to
31 to
tip off.
13. 13 points
Clemson.
in the first half.
Yeah. Expound on that, Patrick. Clemson, a 5 seed, has scored 13 first half points going into the second half. That is unbelievable. And the Clemson coach just got an extension because people were going to steal him away from Clemson, for God's sake.
Right. And I think Clemson was Elite Eight last year. I think Alabama,
they were good.
Alabama knocked them out in Elite Eight.
They were good, yeah.
I don't know what to say of this. This is kind of baffling.
And keep in mind, McNeese State, Will Wade, former LSU coach who got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. He lost his great job at LSU, which is a financial, hit. He lost a great job at LSU. He had to sit out college basketball for a couple of years. He gets the McNeese State job. He was suspended for the first 10 games, but Will Wade can coach. He's got the NC State job in his pocket. Have you heard that, Patrick?
Yeah, I'm almost wondering, did he do it a little prematurely? Could there have been even another job if he?
Maybe.
Who would they end up playing next? You remember who they would end up playing next, Phil?
I would have
McNeese State.
I would have to look it up. Let me go ahead. But
it was another game. Like if they win this one, then it's another definitely winnable game.
Absolutely. Let me try and track down McNeese State.
Like you win 2 games in a term with a school like McNeese State. You're a hot commodity on the list for everybody.
Oh, absolutely. You're you would think you could kind of name your jobs of the big jobs that are open, and there's always going to be obviously Indiana's filled, but let me try and find I'll try and find McNeese State where they're at.
Yeah, Indiana seems like that.
And then Indiana went ahead and filled their job, but shoot, I can't. Man, right now there's 64 teams, and it's hard to see everybody here. But McNeese State, Will Wade, and he got busted. He served his time, and a lot of coaches have been busted, and a lot of coaches have served their time. Will Wade's just another guy that says, okay, I paid my punishment. And Patrick, think about this. What Will Wade did to get fired at LSU. Hey, what? Go ahead.
I was trying to. They play the winner of Purdue and High Point, but no. To your point, yeah. And did Will Wade ever make like a public apology? I'm not sure if he did.
I'm not sure
it's like you said. There's a lot of things coaches have gotten in trouble for in the past that now we would just say, don't do that again, or it just doesn't look right.
And you're right. Will McNeese State, a 12, they are taking on Clemson at 5, and we know 12s beat 5s a lot. McNeese State is trying to move on. Purdue has already won. I think they've closed out High Point. But, Patrick, what I was going to say was, the tape we heard about Will Wade saying we've given that guy a great offer, and some of the reasons why LSU finally had to fire Will Wade. Patrick, do you realize all the stuff that Will Wade did 4 or 5 years ago to get fired at LSU? All that would be acceptable right now in college basketball, right?
Yeah.
He could put a package together and shop a guy. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, he could. You could. Now it's like that's every coach is talking about what they offered certain players to come to their school, without a doubt.
Yeah. It's just so weird that that different discrepancies in the rule book would have gotten you fired 10 years ago, but the rule book has matured to the point where Will Wade, what he did at LSU would have been totally permissible pretty much in modern college athletics, Yeah,
you can say that. We can directly say that about Bruce Pearl and his whole deal that happened with Tennessee. I don't think he would have Well, I think the issue was maybe he lied or misled
Yeah,
the
I
administration
think
about
that
what
was.
happened.
Yeah,
So that
yeah.
probably is something that's always hard to come back to, lying to the people that help hire you. Uh,
Yeah.
so, but still that would have been less of a thing than what it is now.
Patrick, did you put any stock into Texas getting beat last night? I mean, that was probably much like I kidded around about North Carolina winning their game 2 nights ago. Did North Carolina really win any? That was just kind of like a bad regular season game.
I fell asleep because I thought Texas was going to have that game won.
Yeah,
Uh,
and that was more than just a play-in game. Texas let that go, and don't you think Rodney Terry has got to? Texas has got to let Rodney Terry go, probably, right?
my best friend texted me last night. Apparently, there's some Billy Donovan rumors floating around, and I'm like, you
Around
know what?
Texas,
I would like it. I would like it.
around Texas.
Yeah, around Texas.
Patrick, I have not heard or read any of that, but
He's
if
in
you're going to
Austin.
put,
That's why maybe
okay,
someone just is circulating
it,
that.
if you're going to talk about a seasoned NBA great college coach like Billy Donovan, and if you're going to throw his name next to any program that's not a that's not Kentucky, that's not North Carolina. I mean, Texas would be the program you throw his name because Texas will pay anything. Billy, if Billy Donovan and Pat, Coach, you played for Coach, Coach, you probably talked to him within the last year. I want you to speak to this. If Billy Donovan and his people reached out to the area code of Austin, Texas, I think they would pay any amount of money he asked for
Oh
to
yeah.
bring Billy Donovan.
But I don't think it wouldn't be about the money. Guys made over like
I
$200 million
agree. I agree.
or over $100 million. I think it's for him. Like, does he love the idea of coming down
Yeah.
back to college and the
Yeah.
recruiting at that aspect? And you definitely have more influence, I think, over the players and the organization as a head coach in college than you do in the NBA.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I
It
will
might
say
be
this.
exciting for him because there'd be a lot more teaching again
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. I will say
You're
this.
not doing as much teaching for your NBA players.
I agree. Pat, I want to tee this up and I want you to comment on it. But a guy like Billy Donovan, and you look at a guy like Bill Belichick. Okay, Belichick has won, 6 Super Bowls. Football is the ultimate sport in America. I get that. Let's just move that to the side, okay? Billy Donovan won 2 college basketball national championships. Billy Donovan played for more than 2, right? They were in the Final Four a bunch. Billy Donovan then goes to the NBA, and he's
Nice.
relatively young. I think Billy Donovan.
Dude, they were close. He was close to being in the NBA championship.
How
They were
about
up
that?
3-1. They were up 3-1 against the Warriors.
And I know that's not Belichick resume, but that is a hellacious resume. My point being, if Billy Donovan, and by the way, we're in a different era of college basketball and college athletics than when Billy Donovan was coaching in college athletics. He could do what Belichick. Hey, Belichick's not calling recruits and bringing them in. Belichick is going to come in and be a closer. Billy Donovan, in the current college basketball landscape, if he wanted to come back and Texas could pay him, if Texas could pay him $1 gazillion, if he wanted money, he could go find and hire a general manager and a front office. Billy Donovan doesn't have to do the recruiting like he did when he came into.
That'd be so weird, him coming into Gainesville.
Wouldn't that be?
Oh, it'd be so weird. And seeing him wearing the wrong orange.
What
That burnt
if he
orange would kill me, bro.
he rolled in wearing?
Oh, that burnt orange would hurt me. It would hurt me bad.
But would you agree? Billy Donovan could write his ticket with his resume.
Yeah, I think he'd have a blank check.
Yeah,
him and a blank check to do whatever you want with the organization and how much he wants to be paid and having he would be in a situation where he had everything he needed to succeed
Yeah.
for sure.
You would think. Pat, just kind of look at the scoreboard right now. You're probably watching games. I'm at the on the patio at Sliders. McNeese State, 17:52 remaining, 33-16. This would be a big big upset now. Will Wade heading into the ACC with NC State, knocking off the second best team in the ACC, Clemson. This would be huge, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah. I just can't believe that Clemson's like getting dominated like this.
Yeah.
But does that go to talk to about how the ACC just didn't have enough games like this or competition like this that shocked a team like this to in the tournament?
Yeah.
Ooh, that was risky.
Maybe. Auburn now has stretched it out on Alabama State like we thought. Auburn 60, Alabama State 42. So that's midway through the second half. So Auburn is going to go ahead and move on. And you better not sleep on Auburn-Creighton, game number 2. That'll be a good game, won't it?
Oh, that kid Kalkbrenner. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
He's that's the game. That's the 8-9. I don't know. Yeah. That was the 8-9 game.
Yeah,
so,
8-9.
Got them on Saturday. That'll be a good one. That'll be a really good game.
That will be a good game.
Creighton's not as good as they were before, last year or the year before, but they are still a solid team. And Kalkbrenner, that 7'1", I mean, he's babyface assassin or a babyface tough guy.
Nice. And
good shot.
Creighton has such a good basketball lineage and heritage. Creighton will not be intimidated 2 days from now. Creighton will think they're supposed to win that game. I'm telling you, they've got
they should think that.
Yeah,
just in general, like you gotta think that if you're going against the number one team. I mean, yeah, like this is the time. The guard play, like Miles Kelly, that kid, he's such a great shooter. You got to take that away from him.
No doubt. All right, Patrick, let me update some stats.
Gonzaga is up 13-0 on Georgia right now.
I was going to say, updating some story.
That is wild.
Scores. Updating some scores. Auburn is running away from Alabama State. Clemson right now, 16-24 second half. McNeese State leads Clemson 38-16. My God. Clemson has to have a hell of a comeback late in the first half in a really good game. You knew BYU VCU would be a good game. BYU 6 seed, they lead VCU 27-26. And Patrick, what you just said, early in the game, Gonzaga, the 8 seed, leads Georgia 13-0. Oh, my God, Patrick, say it ain't so for the Bulldogs.
I know, right, dude?
Oh.
It hurts. It hurts a whole lot. Just to see this, yeah. I wanted Mike White to get his first, when's the last time Georgia's won a tournament game? I had no expectation of Georgia making it out this weekend, but it would have been nice for them to win a game.
Yeah.
It's still early, but, I just know, like, when Florida was down 12-0 at the beginning of that game against Georgia, they had to fight with a hellacious, just unconscious, and I don't think Georgia has that in them.
Yeah.
To bring, because Florida came back and took the lead. We know that in that game in Athens, it was 83-82 at one point when Florida took the lead. I don't think this Georgia team's got enough to create that same type of comeback.
And, you look at the Georgia deficit, they opened up down 13-0. So, Pat, and I'm pulling for Georgia. I'm an SEC guy. I want Georgia to win this game. I really, really, really respect Mark Few, the Gonzaga coach. I think he's really good at what he does. So
I do too. He's never won anything.
I know. He hasn't quite won it all. But think about it. For Georgia to win their first round game today in March Madness, Mike White will have to outcoach Mark Few to the point of 14 points. He's got right.
Oh, is it 4? Yeah.
Because they're down 13, right? They would have to outscore them.
We didn't no one, I wanted to be respectful, but Mike White's reputation is not a
Yeah.
great hellacious or inspirer
In
or
game or in
X's
game.
and O's
Yeah.
guy, a great
Yeah.
X's and O's guy in game
Yeah.
adjustment. So that is one thing that we are. It's been said before. I'm not saying this for the first time.
Pat, can you remember Georgia Gonzaga? Georgia's the 9, Gonzaga's the 8. 15:59. So they're at their first media timeout under 16. 15:59. Can you remember a game where you played in college basketball where the first media timeout under 16 and you had a bagel, you had a goose egg, you didn't score? That's crazy. Georgia has not scored in the first stanza where they go to the media timeout at 15:59.
It's still showing 0. They must be in the media timeout still.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, still 0.
Still 0, yeah.
Can you remember a game where you didn't score a point in the first media
4
timeout?
minutes?
God.
No. I remember games where we held teams to that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We held
By
teams
the
to
way,
not scoring any points in the first 4 minutes or something like that.
woo, that's a long way back for Georgia. I mean, Gonzaga's got does Gonzaga still have the younger Nimhard as the point guard? You know,
Yes.
Nimhard, he's still there, right? The younger guy.
Ryan Nimhard.
Yeah, yeah. How about that? I love Mark Few. I think Mark Few really knows what he's doing on a basketball sideline.
It's just so weird him being there now without 27-year-old Drew Timmy.
Yes. Where's Timmy at? He was a great college player, but
He's in the G League. He's in the G League.
And does he have NBA
but that's the
games?
thing. Like, these guys make enough money now as a college players where they can go and take the G League struggle. Yeah. Still chase the dream. And instead of Drew probably could go straight overseas, but I mean it's tough over there.
I love
especially if you're new. A lot of guys do go overseas right away to get that money, and they want to play, they want to be stars, and they know like how tough that G League grind is.
Yeah, yeah.
Of the bus of like, if they send a guy down from an NBA team, your job is to make sure they get the most shots and they get the most touches and they get.
How about that?
Yeah.
Wow,
right?
that's a weird way to play basketball, isn't it?
The NBA is a weird basketball. It's weird. I like watching it, but the NBA compared to college is so different. It's such a different game.
Well, you just made a good point, Patrick. The G League, nobody cares who wins or loses and what's your record. The G League is about development. So if your franchise has a hot shot young guy that you want to see if that guy can play or not, you're probably told to feed him the ball, right? What a weird way to play basketball, though, right?
Yeah, it is. It's a weird way. It's not, but that would make sense. It makes sense. It makes sense in the NBA. Because obviously in the NBA, each team's got 2 star guys. Like, you got your role.
Yeah.
And then it makes sense in maybe 10 and under league where, you got that one player that's the best. Hey, pass the ball to him. Pass the ball to whatever you do. Don't shoot. Pass the ball to this guy.
Yes.
If you want to win.
I remember that guy. Terry.
Weren't you that guy, Terry?
Hey, Terry, if you can dribble the ball past half court, get it to Joey. Give the ball to Joey, right? Get it to Joey.
Oh,
that's the guy that Pat, as we go to break, McNeese State leads 40-18 on Clemson. This is getting serious, my man. This is getting real.
Georgia scored. There we go. They got a 3.
Oh, Georgia got a
3. Georgia's on the board.
What
channel
on
is that
board.
one on? It's on TBS.
TBS. Georgia Gonzaga's TBS. But the story is True TV. McNeese State 40, Clemson 18. For God's sakes, Clemson was the number 2 team in the ACC. Patrick, can this score hold up?
Makes me nervous about Duke. Woo! It makes me a little nervous about Duke.
My.
By the way, what I'm excited about, if Gators should take care of business tomorrow against Norfolk State. I'll have the ability to possibly see them play on Sunday.
I know you told us about that. That is really cool, by the way, because you'll be in Charlotte Saturday, and then you could scoot to Raleigh Sunday, right?
As long as the game's at not super late. I don't know what they're looking at for tip-off wise, but yeah, that'd be great. Instead of me just staying in the hotel all Sunday.
Oh.
All day Sunday in the hotel.
You go to Raleigh and catch Florida in their second round game, and we're assuming they're going to win, obviously. And they should win. They should win their first game. By the way, Pat, tomorrow, I don't know when you're flying out, but you're more than welcome to come by Brew and Barrel. We're going to be at Brew and Barrel at the intersection of Beach and San Pablo. Beach and San Pablo, Brew and Barrel. We'll do the show live tomorrow from Brew and Barrel. And the Gators, then we go up the air at 6. The Gators play at 6:30. Looking forward to that. All right, Pat, let's take a quick break here. We'll bring you back. McNeese, 43, Clemson, 22. This is starting to get real serious for the ACC. We'll talk about that when we come back. It is a Thursday edition. The Young and Norvelle Show coming to you from Sliders Oyster Bar right here on the patio. Stay with us, folks.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave. So We like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
Oh my, we may have our first story really developing in March Madness as we welcome you back to the patio right here at Sliders Oyster Bar. The best seafood, the greatest seafood you will ever find, prepared to your liking, featuring Safe Harbor Seafood. That's the key. Sliders Oyster Bar, their seafood comes right off the dock. I mean, I could hit, well, I'm a monster driver because I'm back in golf. I could drive to the dock where the seafood, the fresh seafood, comes from the ocean right to your plate. You can't beat it. They prepare it to your specifications. Sliders Oyster Bar, the best seafood you'll find in town, featuring Safe Harbor Seafood right off the dock. That's where we are at today, every Thursday on the patio. A lot going on. I think Patrick Young has taken off. He's got a lot of duties coming up this weekend with SEC Basketball Network. We'll tap into Patrick tomorrow, hopefully, as we go into the weekend. With that, we are tracking stories, and so far, so good. You would imagine there's not a lot of stories in March Madness, but there is one really brewing in terms of a lower seed and a higher seed. Clemson, the 5 seed, is facing McNeese State, the 12. That's a 5-12, and you know, historically, a 5 has lost to a 12 quite a lot. Well, that matchup, Clemson versus McNeese State, there's 11 minutes left in the game, okay? So this is not just the opening tip. With 11 minutes remaining in the second half, McNeese leads Clemson 45-27. They've almost got a 20-point lead on Clemson. And by the way, Clemson, the clear second-best team in the ACC. But that is the big story brewing right now. A couple of other issues I want to get to, scores and the like. In a pretty good game, you knew it was going to be a good game. Number 6 BYU leads number 11 VCU 39-28. Okay, that's holding, and we're not surprised. What a bad start for the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia doesn't go to March Madness very often. They haven't been in a long time. Georgia, a 9 seed. They drew, of course, 9 plays 8 in the bracket. Gonzaga, they lead Georgia. And, Zach, I'm going to say this twice. Gonzaga leads Georgia with 11:43 remaining. The under 12 timeout, Zach. Gonzaga leads Georgia 27-3. Oh, my God.
So they scored 0 baskets for the first time out, and they scored 1 after the second.
Georgia's at 5.
All right.
Georgia's at 5.
So maybe they'll score 2 baskets before this next time out, then 3 the next, and they can build on that. So and by the end, they can score like 12 baskets
for the game and get 36 points. Or
yeah.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Now, it's very, very early. Auburn is winning big now. Auburn has run away, as we expected, from Alabama State. They're winning by about 20 right now.
Yeah, they kept it close for a half.
Yeah, it was close. The story, though, right now is Clemson getting drubbed by 20 by McNeese State, and that game now is right at halfway through the second quarter. Don't forget, Will Wade, former LSU coach, who got run out of LSU for some recruiting issues, and a lot of coaches get run out of places for recruiting issues. That doesn't mean you're done for your career. He, lost a huge paycheck from LSU. He lost a major job, so he got fired finally when the investigation went through. He then, I think, had a show cause for at least a year. He catches a job with McNeese State in the state of Louisiana, by the way. He has to sit out the first 10 games per his suspension he's done all that. He's obviously either constructed or reconstructed the McNeese State basketball program to the record of 27-6. They lead, Zach. Let me add, Will Wade recently accepted the NC State head coaching job. So he's leaving McNeese State, going into the ACC where Clemson lives, and he's beating Clemson by 20 with 10 minutes left, Zach.
That can only help the recruiting bench.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You think? Oh.
Yeah, and I mean, Clemson can't throw it in the ocean right now. They're 2 for 17 from 3. Which,
Are
I mean,
you serious?
Yeah, and they've also turned the ball over 13 times.
And Clemson,
That'll
they
do it.
should have. I'm just say that again. They've turned it over 13 times.
13 turnovers, yeah.
With half of a half to go. Ooh, and not that Clemson should not have done what they did, because I support, but Clemson was so worried about poachers on their coach, Brad Brownell. They signed him to a long-term contract like 2 days ago.
Oh, yeah, it's not a good way to start that off. A quick exit. Blowout.
And you know what? And why they did it. Remember, Clemson was in the Elite 8 team. Clemson got beat in the Elite 8 last year. Clemson had a really good team. They had a couple low-post guys that were big, thick, broad shoulder. Clemson got eliminated by Alabama, who made the Final Four, by the way.
Right.
Clemson was good last year, and they were good this year.
Yeah, they had a good season.
Clemson, they really did. They were right behind Duke. Remember, Duke's only lost 3 games. Clemson beat them. One of the losses is to Clemson.
Right.
With that said, you can understand why Clemson said, we better lock up our boy Brad Brownell, because and the word was, Zach, that Indiana was snooping around the old hen house. Indiana just hired the West Virginia coach. They were supposedly snooping around the old hen house on Brad Brownell at Clemson. So Clemson hires him to a mega long contract, and they're losing by 18 right now to McNeese State.
Yeah, and I mean, that's definitely a bad look, and the overall product has been pretty solid. They're just having one of those days where they just can't hit a shot. If you can't hit a shot,
I agree.
And I mean, without taking like a close look at the game film, what have you, ought to have seen that McNeese is playing relatively tight defense if they're having such a hard time. So I mean, it's just one of those things where that's why the tournament is so tough.
And you know what? I've got under March Madness update on my sheet. I've got SEC today. There's 6 schools we'll talk about the SEC playing in March Madness. Right under that, I've got UF/overconfident and one of those days. I've got that written down here. That's how you get eliminated in March Madness if you're the better team. Zach, you never know. You could run out and have warm-ups, and you're playing a lower seed. It might be one of those days where you throw up 28 three-point shots and you make 5. And that's just the basketball gods. You throw up 24 free throws and you only make 15, and you leave a ton on the – that's what scares you, Zach, and that's why it's so freaking hard to win March Madness.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's not a series, just one game. But, I mean, you just got to go out there and take care of the little things and just, I don't know.
Yeah.
You got to not beat yourself. You got to make Norfolk State beat you.
Agree.
And if you played C-level basketball, they can't.
Yeah. And while you're missing all those shots I talked about, it may be one of those days. You can't throw it in the ocean from behind the 3. You throw up a brick from the free throw line. The way you get beat is A, as a high seed, do that, and B, you never know. The team you're playing may be red hot. It may be one of those days where every freaking shot they throw up goes in the basket, right? And they make 12 three-pointers, and they make 18 of 20 free throws. And you know what? You're on a plane heading home. It's hard, man.
Yeah, and that's honestly something that's kind of crazy about this McNeese State and Clemson game is that McNeese State is also shooting really bad from 3. They're only 3 for 17.
Really?
And Clemson actually is doing better from the free throw line. They're 7 for 8 on free throws, whereas McNeese State is only 5 for 10. It's the turnovers.
So from what you can tell, and I see the score, but I'm not diving into it. So McNeese is just hammering the ball down low. They're just bludgeoning them. How are they winning this game?
Yeah, it's got to be points in the paint. They've taken 51 total shots that are not three-pointers. It's got to be points.
Wow.
And the fact that Clemson keeps turning the ball, it's probably turnover and fast break. It's probably a lot of what it is.
So I know there's still, I'm showing 8:05 remaining in the game. McNeese State leads Clemson. McNeese, a 12 seed, leads Clemson, a 5 seed, 51-29. That would take a hell of a comeback. With that said, McNeese State, Clemson, the winner moves on in Providence. They would play Purdue, who just beat High Point. Wow. It looks like McNeese State versus Purdue. Now, I don't want to blow off McNeese State, but, man, if you're Purdue, you're sitting there going, man, I thought we were going to play ACC number 5 seed Clemson. How about an early crack in the bracket right now in the Midwest? That's in the Midwest with the top of the Midwest. By the way, the 1 seed in the top of the Midwest is Houston. So Houston may benefit from – can you imagine Houston trying to get to the Elite Eight or to the Final Four via McNeese State? For God's sake.
Yeah, McNeese, they could be the ones standing in the way.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Do we have Patrick back?
Sounds like we might have Patrick.
Hey, Pat, this thing with McNeese State's getting serious now. 8:05 remaining, second half. McNeese leads Clemson 51-29. Patrick Young, how does this happen in March Madness? McNeese State, for God's sake.
You know, part of it is absolutely giving Will Wade the credit here.
Yeah.
I think without a doubt. You don't want to take away from what they're doing. Clemson just didn't come ready to play.
Yeah.
There's no way McNeese State is McNeese State probably better than Clemson? Sure. Or maybe that can be, we can argue and debate that about, probably not overall, but like they are playing and that goes to show like basketball is so much more than just your offense. Like, what are your guys doing to help your team win? Are guys only focusing on scoring? Are they, the rebounding, they're getting beat on all cylinders. If you've seen some of those, McNeese State's had a few of those off the rim put back dunks.
Okay.
All Clemson guys. I just don't understand how you don't come ready to play. There's no way if these guys play again the next game that McNeese State's going to be up this much. I think
probably not.
But that's the thing. Like, you just got to be better for that day, for that game.
And wouldn't you think that Clemson would have used the fact that, hey, guys, listen, this team we're about to play, they've got a guy that was an SEC basketball coach. He was a good, solid SEC. He's at McNeese State. We don't care why he's there. We got to take these guys serious. And Patrick, you were an 18-year-old, 20-year-old, 21-year-old student athlete. I think sometimes it's hard to get through to these guys.
Right. Yeah,
you got to take these guys seriously.
Necessarily as a coach, you don't think you need to even have that message. Because you've been giving them messages on the importance of the game in front of you all season long. So there's only so much a coach can do. That's why you would think at halftime, because sometimes a lot of teams, they really just need halftime.
I agree.
They need halftime to come as fast as possible so they can get on each other, they can hold each other accountable, they can figure it out. But it doesn't seem like, and now it's at the point where now McNeese State is absolutely by far the better team. They got juice. They're going to keep coming at them. Will Wade, he probably just feels so proud right now in this moment.
Oh, well, Pat, let me throw this at you. If you're NC State basketball, you just signed Will Wade. He's coming over to be your coach in the Big Bad ACC. We know that's a great conference. I know they're down a little bit. The ACC is a great basketball conference, great basketball heritage. If you are an NC State fan right now watching this game or seeing the score, you have to be going, well, number one, our new coach, Will Wade at North Carolina State, he must really know this portal game, because think about it. He's only been at McNeese, 1 year, maybe 2. He's turned the portal game around at McNeese State. Of course, if you're an NC State fan, you think, man, what's he going to do with the ACC next to his name? If you're an NC State fan, you're loving life right now, thinking what Will Wade could do.
And sadly, ACC, you're happy because your league isn't that great. So if he can immediately find success within the league. He could immediately. There's no reason he can't find success and be better than the product that was of last year. Without a doubt.
Wouldn't you think he's turned McNeese so quickly? He knows what he's doing in the portal. He went out and got ball players, right? He went out and got ball players to come to wherever McNeese is at.
He's got to keep that manager, that team manager. He's got to keep that guy. I don't know how. He needs to transfer over to wherever state as well.
Yeah. But what if you're an NC State fan right now? Okay, it sucks your team is not in the tournament. You went to the Final Four last year, but if you're an NC State fan, you're going, hey, this guy we just hired, he knows how to acquire talent. He acquired talent at McNeese State. What the hell is he going to do with NC State on his lapel? I would be excited as hell, because what Will Wade got in trouble for at LSU is legal now, right? It's legal. Right?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I think about, that is like, are going to give him the money to build his team.
Yeah. Wow. And Patrick, I know we don't know where North Carolina is going to go. North Carolina won a game the other night. I don't really consider that. I don't really consider North Carolina's win being a big tournament win yet. That was a play-in game. But, man, what a great time. If you got to take over NC State basketball, this is a pretty good time. North Carolina basketball is not at the peak right now. This is a pretty good time to take over at NC State. North Carolina is scuffling around, I think. And I'm not sure. We may have lost Patrick there. But go ahead, Pat, if you heard me. And Zach, we may need to tell Pat we've lost his area.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Zach. Tell him we've lost the area. But Pat, you there? Yeah, I think we lost Pat. Let's go ahead and let him go with a bad connection. But my point before we go to break, man, NC State, North Carolina State will always, always, always be the little brother to North Carolina basketball. There's no debating that. I think the number one most ardent NC State fan, if you gave them truth serum, they would say, yes, North Carolina is one of the 3 or 4 big blue bloods in college basketball historically and probably in the future. Nobody disputes that. But I will say this. If you're an NC State fan, you've always chased the beautiful blue of Carolina. You've always, and you may still always chase them. I will say this. You just hired Will Wade, who it looks like is going to move on in March Madness and defeat Clemson. And by the way, if McNeese beats Clemson, if this game holds, this isn't a buzzer beater. This is a bludgeoning. McNeese State, is bludgeoning Clemson. And Will Wade has only been at McNeese State a short time. So that tells you he jumped all over the portal. He went and got ball players at McNeese State. Well, if you're an NC State fan, and if this holds 51-36, so Clemson's cutting in a little bit. There's only 6:21 remaining. If this holds, if you're an NC State fan, you go, my God, what can Will Wade do putting a portal roster together with not McNeese State's emblem on his chest, but NC State in the ACC. Man, I would be ecstatic, guys. And Patrick, if you're still there, I would be ecstatic right now. No matter what happens the rest of the tournament with McNeese State, I would be ecstatic if I'm an NC State fan with Will Wade coming over.
Well, I think it's what's cool, like compared to football. I think when some of these new coaching hires happen, the fans haven't necessarily been following them or get a chance to. Like now, he's in a front stage, and it doesn't always work out this way. Sometimes it happens right after. Like for Matt McMahon and Ty Golden, I think it was right after they lost their tournament game that they got their jobs. Like him getting the job and hired now, like he couldn't have asked for a better story. Like beating Clemson like this, still at McNeese, the fans are definitely got plenty of NC State eyes watching this game. As a fan, you walk away and you're like, oh man, yeah, you got to be super excited if you're a fan right now.
By the way, at 6:05 remaining first half, Gonzaga 35, Georgia 16. Boy, you hate to see Georgia go out like this. They got blitzed.
What the heck?
They got blitzed with 13-0. You feel bad for Georgia if they can't come back. Patrick,
I wanted them to get one. I wanted Coach White to get one win. That was a tough task. As for Gonzaga, the Zags were playing really well to finish the year.
And what obviously Georgia and Gonzaga, you're talking Georgia 9, Gonzaga an 8. 9-8 happens 4 times, and you know it's going to be a good game. What a tough spot for Georgia to jump into, right? Gonzaga, a team that easily, a program, Patrick, Gonzaga could easily have 2 national titles, and they're always in the mix. They know what they're doing. And Mark Few, that was a tough ask for Georgia, wasn't it? What a bad spot.
They are always in the mix, and the fact that things have changed for them kind of abruptly here. That's tough, man. That's the way it goes. You take care of your season better in season, then you don't have to worry about you get a higher seeding. And for Georgia, I don't know if it maybe going the other way seeding wise would have been helpful too. Yeah, maybe being a 10 seed could have been better.
They could have.
It's possible, but it might not sound correct, but who knows? It could, like it was 10-7. That possibly could have.
Yeah, that's ironic what you say, Patrick. Maybe Georgia as a 10 could have snuck up on a 7, but 8-9. Boy, Gonzaga. Hey, Mark Few knows what the hell he's doing. He knows how to get a team ready for this tournament, man. That's a tough ask. Georgia rarely, if ever, goes to March Madness. Mike White, a little bit. That was a tough ask. Hey, Pat, before we get out of here with this segment, one of the great things of having you as a partner is you've played such a high level of college basketball and professional. Pat, you probably, I don't know, I think you and I counted it up one day. You, in your 4-year career at Florida, I think you played in like 14 March Madness games or whatever. It was just some ungodly.
17.
17. How did it work? Like today, Pat, if you were a sophomore at Florida, Billy Donovan's your coach, the tournament starts today, but you don't play until tomorrow, Florida. You probably went to the arena and shot around a little bit, but were you did you and the team just watch basketball all day on your off days? Do you remember how your off days worked?
We played video games. We brought our Xbox and played video games.
But you were turned loose. You were turned loose though. You had time. You could watch games, play video.
Yeah, there's plenty of time. They're not gonna. It's not a 24/7 thing of watching film and. Yeah. Like we have our meetings and dinners and time, but none of that stuff didn't take a long time.
Let me ask you this. You're not so old that we had cell phones back then. Did if there was a big if Clemson was getting beat, a 5-12 was getting beat, were you and Wilbekin and Prey there? Were y'all meeting? Meeting in the room watching this thing?
No.
Or how does a player watch this tournament?
How does a player watch it? So do you remember the rebound video from the kid at Baylor of explaining how to rebound?
Yes.
So this is how you watch it. I'm doing this to you right now. You go to a room that hopefully has a television,
okay,
and hopefully it's connected to the internet. You choose to grab the remote, you turn the TV on, and you change to the channel, Terry. And that's how a college basketball player, like any other person, would watch March Madness if they so wanted to.
But I mean, were you guys locked into it? Were you like, I'm not playing
No.
Madden. I want to watch Clemson play McNeese State. They're getting beat. Were you locked? That's what I'm asking. Were you locked into it? Were you guys?
No.
Really?
No.
Really?
We're focused on. We wanted to focus on what was ahead of us. Like, why would we need to look at everything else going on?
Now,
I'm sure, and I'm not saying we didn't watch it at all, but it wasn't a priority.
Let me ask you this: today, let's just call it. It's Thursday. March Madness opened up. Florida's a 3 seed. You don't play until tomorrow. Okay, you open up Friday. Okay, you guys probably had a breakfast together. You might have had a film session real quick. You may have even gone to the arena because there's no games going on and shot around in the morning. Did your coaching staff sequester up? Did they just watch games ad nauseum? Were they?
I think they did. I'm sure they did. I'm not sure. Like, probably whoever had the scout.
Yeah.
Was on. They probably had a help from one of the other assistant coaches. I wonder how they do it. They probably break it up. So, you got the coach that's scouting for the current game, and then the two other coaches might be scouting for the next game. Like, one's doing this team, one's doing the other, and that's how they get selected for.
Yeah.
It's for them. It's a lot of film. It's a lot of scouting without a doubt.
Patrick, I want to defer to your incredible career at Florida and pro basketball. I spent 2 years as the radio voice for the JU Dolphins. So I called 2 years of basketball. They had football at the time and baseball. I will never forget, Patrick, my 2 years calling JU basketball. And, the Dolphins aren't the best team in the country, but they're a Division I basketball team playing in the Atlantic Sun. Pat, I used to be amazed, not on home games, because I would just show up at the arena and do the home game. But when we went on the road, obviously I traveled with the team, Patrick, and I would be, let's say we went and played Belmont and Lipscomb over 4 days. They're both in Nashville. So I would be with the team for 5 days, right? Traveling and hotel. Patrick, I don't think the average fan realizes, and I want you to speak to this, how in-depth the scout is on your next opponent. If we were riding on the bus to go eat a meal the day before, they're playing that film and the scout is talking. The day of the game, as we're riding, it was amazing how in-depth. Hey, if number 7 for the opponent made 7 3-pointers against you in the game, there's no way you didn't know he wasn't a good shooter, because that scout was.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Don't let. That's why. Shoot.
But doesn't that drives you crazy, right? Because it happens. It happens in games where you're like, our favorite team or another. Like, how the heck are they keeping on letting this guy? And then not just get shots. It's like he's wide open.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, how the heck did they let this guy that they know he could shoot? You hear all the buzz, and the fact that he's still getting open or whatever. And that is different than there's obviously a line where there's a foul, where you can't cross that line. Like A&M, Florida, Mississippi State, great offensive rebounding teams. You can know that and still not be able to stop it. That's a different problem.
That's physical, right?
That's physical. That's physical.
Yeah.
But still, that as a former retired player, never coach, that drives me insane.
Oh, but Pat, let me ask you this. When I used to watch those scouts, and on the bus to pregame meal, or the scout is it's constantly on we're watching it. Everybody in JU's world knows, don't let number 7 get an open look. He can shoot, okay? Number 7 would get a bunch of open shots, but keep in mind, Pat, help me out here. That team they were running double screens and stuff. They were trying to get 7 open too, right? It's not like you just running around.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they're not like Steph Curry, you know, like he's not going to just throw his hands up and be like, oh, well, they're double teaming me and chasing me around. I can't like that is what makes like people like him even more special. Because especially in the NBA, like these guys play against each other 6, 7, 8 times a year. They don't need any more scout. They need, and that's what goes down, like what Billy Donovan does. They don't need more scouting. Maybe for the younger guys that haven't played or new, they need more. They need the coaches to find any loopholes and blind spots that can make it this guy from he's going to get his 30 points. Let's make him get his 30 points on 30 shots instead of 30 points on 20 shots. Let's, you know, stuff like that. So the scouting is so different. You know, it's rare if you ever play a team in college basketball 3 times a year. So you want to have fresh eyes and a fresh mind for each team. And I think the best teams and the best players I've seen, even in my professional career, they found the time on their own to still watch film. To still, even if their film was just watching a game and like breaking it down themselves and ever how you want to do it, they really wanted to watch one player. That's great too, because you really can pick some easy stuff up to get some easy baskets or stops by, you know, doing some homework.
Yeah. Patrick Young, I want to ask you this. We're going to talk about this and go to break. I'll let you go as we are starting to slowly wrap up this Thursday. I hear a lot about when you're watching a game with a good announcer and a good analyst guy, they'll say, well, you know, Florida, they know to force this Kentucky big man to his left or his right, you know, his not natural. What did you find it difficult? There aren't a lot of left-handed players. Did you find it difficult when you faced a post guy that was a true lefty? There's just not a lot of lefties. It's probably 90.
There's not a lot.
Was it hard?
No, you're right. You're right. And I'm trying to think. There's definitely some left-handed bigs I faced. And you just have to be so mindful of that. Because I'm so used to you know, which ways guys use going to their right hands, because most guys, it's like they're not new invented moves. It's just it's how well they're executed and how good your defense is, discipline on defense is. But I remember the first time I faced a guy here in Jacksonville that was left-handed. The coach had to keep reminding me, you know, he'd get it on the right block and he'd say, don't give him the middle. That's where he wants to go. He's left, and eventually I started to get it. But that factors in greatly.
And I would imagine, Patrick, you were obviously low post, big, strong center, power forward. I would imagine, and speak to this, Pat, that you might catch a true lefty low post guy, and then you may go 15 games without seeing another lefty.
I know, right? Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
That's the truth. That is the absolute truth.
That had to be
man, I remember one day. This is a funny story. I remember playing adult, you know, drinking league softball a few years ago, and we end up playing against this team where I think they had in the lineup 7 or 8 lefties, or just guys that hit left-handed, and so the ball go to right field. Yeah. They killed us. They killed us, man.
Hey, last thing, Patrick. By the way, Clemson has closed it to 10. They're trailing by 10 with 2:59, so keep an eye on Clemson. Patrick, I've always wanted to ask you this. I was driving home the other day after our show, and I thought I've never asked you this. And I get it. You were a post player. You are big, strong, rebound, go to the board, 6'10", 250. I get it. You were a center power forward. Did you get to the point where you could dribble both hands confidently, or did you always have a dominant? No. Talk about that.
No, I probably wish I did spend a little bit more time working on my handles, but I was so right hand dominant.
Yeah.
My left hand would be good for like blocking shots. I didn't have to worry about, you know, if I need to go up it for a deflection or something, or maybe just being a pest, and not like it's just not as skilled. You're offhand. Yeah. And I wish I did spend more time on that. Like some guys, honestly, they end up with like a right hand or a right, strong hand injury, and it forces them to use their offhand, and they become so good at it. Yeah, and I just you just either you feel like you don't have the time, or you're not committed enough.
Is it just in your basketball career, and you played a lot with and against a lot of guys, is getting that second dribble hand, is it just a matter of putting in, you're going to have to dribble a million times to do it?
It's a matter, I think it's only a matter of putting the work in. I think that is only it, Terry. That's it.
Wow.
If I put in it, just think about it. Like if you and I did 100 left-handed, one-handed free throws a day,
we would finally,
obviously our numbers are going to be freaking awful now, but after doing that for a month, we make double or triple that. We would probably never become 90% one-hand left-handed shooters, but we darn near be more than 50%, I would think, at one point.
Yeah.
From zero.
Yeah. Definitely. All right, Pat.
Terry, is it windy out there for you at Sliders?
Yeah, it's been very windy. It's dying down now, but it's crowded as heck, man. This place is rocking here. I mean, they're looking at me like, get off this table. We want to give this table to some people.
It's a young man's game, Terry. It's a young man's game.
It is. All right, Pat. I had one more thing to ask you. Let me think what it was.
Well, I know I wanted to ask you, or did you guys already talk about the NFL rule change applications? Because that's something relevant.
Talk about it. I know they're talking about it. I don't think anything's been officially changed yet. What are they talking about?
The major ones I saw are one, and I think you and I both agree on this one, or at least there's something there with the seeding. This is from Detroit, of them being the highest wild card. They had the best record, and they ended up being a wild card. So they're wanting to do away with winning your division, and that means you automatically, like, it should be the best. I think there should be more conference games in general.
Okay.
Or expand what it means in conference. Like make it all AFC. All, like, we don't need an AFC South and North or East and West. Just make it just the AFC. Just those and all those are conference games. Let's make them 12 out of the 17, and then 12 out of the 17 on the other side. That way, you have more conference games, and then that could work. And then the other one was overtime rules in the regular season being the same as the postseason.
I don't like them being different.
I understand it.
I just don't like it being different.
Not at all.
Because if it was the playoff way, another team might have won. They might have won their way.
Right. And then the last one was the automatic first down rules, penalties, like illegal hands or defensive holding, automatic first down. So they wanted, I can't remember which team proposed that, and I kind of like that. I don't like, a penalty like that causing it doesn't matter. It can be a route where a guy just grabbed on too long, or accidentally hit a guy in the helmet, like 5 yards and an automatic first down.
Yeah.
Like if the 5 yards gives you a first down, take that. But like, come on. Come on now.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Pat. We'll let you go with this. Still 10-point game. Clemson trailing by 10, 145. If McNeese State can hold on, a huge shocker to open up Thursday of March Madness. Pat, I'll leave you with this, and I know you're a humble guy, and I know sometimes you blow me up. Pat, do you realize how many March Madness games you played in over 4 years, and how do you understand your March Madness career is ridiculous? Do you realize that?
That is, that's crazy. 12 wins my first 3, and then 5 my second.
That's
4.
Crazy.
It is 16 in terms of games I've played is 17.
17.
Games I played is 17, but wins.
Wins is unbelievable. And Gator Nation's listening out there. which players, hopefully, you've told me, but I'm going to let you speak to this before we get out of here on this segment. You were from a very special era of Gator basketball. A very, very special. You don't just go to the Elite Eight, the Elite Eight, the Elite Eight, and the Final Four. That just doesn't happen. You had a special group of players. You've told me off and on, but tell Gator Nation, you talk to Will Uget and some of these guys. You guys are you can if you needed to, you could reach out to these guys, right?
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. And I think it's a shame with the Hall of Fame stuff they do at Florida that like all four of us couldn't get inducted at the same time. They do it so weird. Like Scotty just got inducted last year at some point. And it's kind of odd, but no, all those guys, those are some memories. I tell you, it's just life, man. Life is kind of made us drift apart, but we're all in different parts of the world.
It happens,
which is pretty crazy, and that happens. Will's in France, Casey Prather's in Australia, and Scotty, I think he's here in Florida right now, but he may have gone back to Turkey.
Was Scotty Wilbekin the one you went, how did he get so good? I mean, he came in from the Rock or whatever. Is he the guy that you played with, or were there multiple guys?
Yeah, I would say no. That's not what I would say. How did he get so good? It's probably more so like, is this kid ever going to grow up?
Off the court, you mean?
Off the court and on the court. Well, not so much on the court. He was really good. He loves basketball so much.
God, his last 2 years, he was so good.
He freaking loves basketball. So, yeah, it was more so on just the maturity side. I wouldn't say Scotty was necessarily our leader, but he was an assembler of men.
Where did
that's for sure.
Casey Prather, his last couple of years, just kind of boom. He just kind of bought. How?
Not couple. His student junior year started showing, but his senior year was unbelievable, man.
How did you see that coming? I mean, this guy just went nuts.
No, I didn't see that coming. I didn't see him making that much of a jump. Like he worked his ass, because he used to shoot. He used to shoot weird. He used to shoot with the ball from like the left side of his body, and it's coming across, and then someone got him to eliminate that, and he worked on his shot like crazy, and he stopped trying to shoot threes unless they were like wide open. And with his athleticism, he was unstoppable.
Last thing, I promise, I keep bugging you, but Lord knows I have no experience with March Madness. You do, and our viewers don't. When you played March Madness games, and you played 1 million, round 1, round 2, whatever, when you guys, when your team won a game early, let's say the early session, after media, after locker room, after media, did you guys have the option to stick around and watch the rest, or did you just go back to the hotel and you had to go back to the hotel?
I don't think we ever stayed to watch a game.
Yeah.
I don't think so. If anything, I'm trying to think, did we ever come early? No, we never stayed to watch. Not that I can recollect.
No, y'all just went back and showered up and got some rest.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, the coaches, they don't like breaking routine.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, and then an inconvenience to getting the guy, getting them all back at the same, it's just.
Yeah. Sure.
I'm sure it was possible. It probably had been possible if the managers had a vehicle or something like that. Sure. And you say, hey, what if the managers stay with us, or let and we'll leave after the first half. Like, I'm sure they would have been cool with that, but.
12-seat van or something. Yeah, that would make it easier. When's the last time you talked to Coach Donovan? Have you talked to him a lot? I know he's busy with the NBA. You're busy with all your stuff. Been a while.
I haven't talked to him in a while. Yeah.
But y'all stay in touch. You told me y'all stay in touch. You and Coach.
Yeah, I need to reach out. It's much easier to get a response from his wife, busy. Christine, as you can imagine.
Yeah. He's busy. All right, Pat, get out of here. As we let you go, 65-56, 45 seconds left. It looks like McNeese State is going to knock out 5th seed Clemson, the first shocker of March Madness. Wow, Georgia's still trailing by about 21 at the half. Pat, we'll do it again tomorrow, man. Good stuff, and what a good time of year, man. I know you love it. I love it as well.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
That's our buddy Patrick Young. We'll catch up with Pat tomorrow. By the way, we are live tomorrow at Brew and Barrel. We're going to do the show 4 to 6, Brew and Barrel. It's at the intersection of Beach and San Pablo, 14333 Beach Boulevard, intersection of Beach and San Pablo. We'll do the show tomorrow live 4 to 6, and then the Gators play at 6:50. We're going to hang around. Come by, say hi, enjoy. What a wonderful setup, too. I could not believe this place when I walked in a couple months ago. They put a lot of money. It's a wonderful, clean-cut sports bar restaurant. You'll love it. Come by, say hi tomorrow. The show live, Brew and Barrel, 14333 Beach Boulevard at the intersection of Beach and San Pablo. Tomorrow, watching Gator basketball. Hope you can join us. We'll take a break, come back, reset the show, and get out of here. We'll catch up all the basketball scores for you as we get out of here on a Thursday, the official, what I call the official start of March Madness.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry. We still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave. So feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
Oh my, what a fun time of year. We're wrapping up a Thursday edition right here on the patio. Man, it's packed here. Outside, inside, oyster bar, drink bar, patio, putting green. What a fun place to be this time of year. Sliders Oyster Bar in Neptune Beach featuring Safe Harbor Seafood. They've got it all. A lot of fun stuff going on. Clemson right now down 2 with 1 second left. McNeese State trying to close out Clemson. And McNeese State, the 12 seed, they have dominated this game. A hell of a comeback by Clemson, obviously. But McNeese, this is not a last game, end of game buzzer beater. McNeese trying to close it out. This would be the first shocker of the first half day of March Madness. We'll track that as we go. Georgia getting bombed at the half by Gonzaga. Gonzaga leads Georgia 48-27 at the half. BYU looks like they will close out VCU. BYU at 6/11. So Creighton, a 9 seed, beat Louisville, but that was a 9-8, 8-9, however you want to look at it. Not a huge upset, but Creighton moves on. So this could be Zach Rothrock. This could be an ugly 1-2 bad punch for the ACC. Clemson may lose, and Louisville has already gotten beat. The ACC only got 4 in, and one of them was North Carolina. Clemson will probably be, Duke will be the only flag carrier of the ACC. Ooh, if McNeese, Zach, I'm going to give this to you. You're a South Carolina guy. Can you deliver the McNeese win over Clemson as a South Carolina guy? Can you do it?
I can. Yeah, we do have a final in the Midwest
What do
region.
you got?
The McNeese Cowboys 69, Clemson 67.
It is over.
The mighty ACC is falling.
It is over. So McNeese State, the 12, moves on in Providence. They will take on Purdue, who got by High Point today. Our first huge upset. That is a big one. I know 5 beats 12 a lot. 12 beats 5 a lot.
Yeah.
But still, it is a big, big upset in that area. Or early. I mean, we are not quite halfway through day 1/2, if you know what I mean. Thursday, the first half of games are still playing. Obviously, we'll have a night session break and then the night session. But boy, oh boy, oh boy, the ACC is scuffling right now, as they have all year. You know, the ACC, Zach, they got 4 teams in. One of them was North Carolina, which North Carolina won the other day. That was kind of a bad regular season game. The opponent they beat wasn't even a real March Madness team. Clemson's out. That's a blow to the ACC. What a bad even if Duke ran the table, Zach, what would you call Clemson basketball this year? Even if Duke ran the table.
I mean, it feels. I don't know. If, I want to say middle of the road, but I mean, they only lost 6 games all year. So I mean, it's hard. That feels kind of. I would have said they underachieved. They just underachieved.
Yeah, you look at Louisville, an 8 loses to a 9. Clemson, a 5 loses to a 12. North Carolina, no matter if they win their next game or not, probably shouldn't be in the tournament. So Duke is the only team out there, right, holding the flag for the ACC. Would you ever have thought late Thursday, March Madness Day 1, that only one program has a chance to do any damage from the Atlantic Coast? The Atlantic Coast Conference is historically the dominant basketball conference in America.
Oh, yeah, as far back as I can remember.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
as far back.
But I mean, maybe that's just. I mean, it's hard to say if there's a turning of a changing of the guard, so to speak. It's hard to say that. It's only been 1 year,
And you know, what you're saying is true. Think about college football. The SEC, the big bad SEC, has gone 2 years without winning a title, right? And the SEC did not even put a team in the championship game, right? It was Ohio State and Oregon or whoever it was, so yeah, it can happen quick. It can happen. It can happen real quick. All right, Zach, let's get to a couple. We got about 5 minutes left. We've talked about a lot of college basketball. We'll do it tomorrow live from Brew and Barrel at the intersection. Come by and see us. We're at the intersection tomorrow of Beach and San Pablo. You'll see it. Brew and Barrel. We're going to be there 4 to 6 with the show. And then Gator basketball is at 6:15. If you're looking for an area, come by, watch it with us. Patrick might be there depending on his travel plans with SEC Network. Before we get to finish off basketball, Zach, did you hear the story? And I don't know what they I just don't know what they're feeding the students at the University of Georgia. You know, Georgia football doesn't have a great driving record. Is that fair to say the players at Georgia don't have a great driving record the last 5 years?
I would definitely say that is relatively fair to say, yes.
Did you hear and see the story? The Georgia co-ed, and this was very recently, within a day or two, and Zach, there she is. That's her mugshot, right? Look at that beautiful girl, right? So, Zach, that's her mugshot. Beautiful co-ed at the University of Georgia. She gets pulled over for speeding. She tells the officer, I don't know if you've heard the story, Zach. She tells, hey, I'm sorry, officer. I'm going to a party, and I am sorry. It was a rural road. And he says, okay, I understand that. So he gives her a warning, basically, Zach, and lets her go upon her way, right? Okay, so far so good, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Relatively
and look
standard.
at her. She's a beautiful 20-year-old girl. Her name is Lily Stewart. Beautiful Lily. And the officer says, hey, you were honest with me. You're going to a party. You're dressed to the nines. You're beautiful. Listen, you were going, I know it's a rural road, but you were speeding. Slow it down. Here's a warning. Do you know what happened next, Zach?
What's that? I'm sure she just.
So he gives her a warning, and he gets it back in his car. She gets in her car. She takes off, and she's speeding as she leaves. He tracks her down as she's speeding away, and he pulls her over. And this time he has to arrest her.
So like like immediately, does that mean she punches it as soon as the officer walks away?
And she said, I was thinking about the party. It's a rural road. She gets pulled over the second time within seconds, right?
Yeah.
And the cop goes, sweetie, I'm sorry, but I've got to arrest you. This is 2 speeding tickets. You didn't listen to me. So this is her mugshot. And it's gone viral. She's going to make a fortune, by the way. It's gone viral. But, Zach, this is a Georgia co-ed. Georgia football players can't drive. Does anybody on the campus know how to drive at Georgia?
I mean, apparently they don't know how to follow the traffic laws at the very least. They might know how to drive at excessive speeds. But yeah, they're always. I mean, it feels like you can't go a week without hearing some story about a Georgia football player getting pulled.
And
over.
we don't want to make it fun.
They must be keeping them under wraps this offseason. I feel like I haven't heard any this offseason, but maybe we got to wait till June, July.
If you're this girl, Lily Stewart, you got to go knock on Kirby Smart's door and say, "Hey, I'm the perfect trainer for your team." Right? I know how to Georgia drive. And we're not making fun because there were some fatalities over the last couple of years. But my God. Georgia student athletes, and I don't know if she's an athlete, but my goodness gracious. Zach, you won't know this story, but it reminded me, this is a true story. You can look it up. This double speeding ticket within a few minutes, right, of this girl, Lily Stewart, we see. It reminded me, look it up. You can look it up. Former FSU quarterback Chris Ricks, pretty good college quarterback, had a cup of coffee in the NFL. He was a star from California, Florida State. Bobby Bowden signed him. He played in like 2001, 2, 3, 4, okay? This reminded me, how about this? Chris Ricks, October 27th, 2003, he got 2 speeding tickets in Tallahassee on the same street, Stadium Drive, by the same officer before a FSU Notre Dame game within 30 minutes. Within 30 minutes.
Yeah, so. Was he going the same way both times? Was he going by the other way? That's tough.
I don't know, but I remember this story with the beautiful girl reminded me. Chris Ricks got 2 tickets on. He's the starting quarterback of Florida State at the time, right? He gets 2 speeding tickets on the same street in Tallahassee, Stadium Drive. So he was right next to the stadium, where he plays that, by the same officer, for God's sakes. You're like,
September 2003.
Yes, September of 2003.
Think I'm the FSU quarterback, and this is my town, and they're not going to pull me over, so I'm just going to go fast.
And, hey, my man said 30 minutes, bam, bam. Enjoy that. Put that in your training room discretion. All right, before we get out of here, real quick, did you hear the story, true story, out of South Florida?
We're over time.
Michael, what are we at?
We're past.
All right, we're over. That'll do it. Out of here. We'll talk about it. We're out of here. Drive safe. Enjoy basketball. Thanks to Patrick. Thanks to Zach. Thanks to all the stories. I'm Terry Norvelle. Have a great day tomorrow. We'll see you at Brew and Barrel.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra,